What up? I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to a person named Tiffany Ferg, and I recently found her channel, and she has some interesting stuff, some interesting analysis and videos like that, but she's extremely left-leaning, and some of her videos are very obnoxious. Not all of them, but some of them, and this is one of them. She's basically one of those, like, 2013, 2014 era bedroom feminists that everyone used to clown on, but now for some reason no one does because I guess the political tides have shifted, or maybe YouTube just doesn't favor that type of content. But everyone used to clown on these people back in the day, but she's one of those bedroom feminists. And as you can see, as the video goes on, she doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And her whole video today that I'm going to be reacting to is about female body hair. Can you guess which side she's on? Yeah, that's right. She likes women to be hairy. Because why not? You know, what taboo should we have left in this world? I mean, everything should be normalized, right? Like everything should be normalized. I mean, there shouldn't be anything that's taboo left because that's bad. But without further ado, let's get started, and I'll try and give her the benefit of the doubt as much as possible, but she says some really dumb shit in this video.
Today's video is something that I've wanted to discuss for a while, and that is female body hair. So in this video, I want to explore the many pressures on women to tame our body hair, and what happens if you decide to go against the grain and go all natural. So generally in this video, I am focusing on women, mostly cis women, but I do understand that everybody is under some amount of pressure and there are societal expectations of how we are all supposed to manage our body hair.
Man, she's hitting all the talking points. She said cis women, societal expectations. She's hitting all those lefty talking points. By the way, though, cis women are the only real type of women. So I'll put that out there for future reference. But yeah, she's hitting all the talking points. She is locked in and ready to go. We are making it out of the kitchen with this one, feminists.
You have too much hair, you have not enough hair, your hair isn't in the right places. Anyway, there is a lot at play when it comes to hair. Hair removal companies obviously want us to remove it all. Partners often have a say in what their preference is.
It's funny that she says this at the beginning of the video, partners have a say, because she says later in the video that her husband has no say and she doesn't give a fuck. She'd rather look good for some random guy than her husband. She actually says this too. I'm not making this up. She says she'd rather look good for some random guy than her husband. So it's funny that she says that because she completely just says later in the video she doesn't give a fuck what her husband thinks.
But often it can take years for us to even ask ourselves how we feel about our body hair or what we prefer, or begin to question where all of these feelings come from. Generally, I think how anyone manages their own hair, whether they remove it or not, is entirely a personal choice.
Correct, it is a personal choice, but it's my personal choice to find you fucking disgusting. So, okay, do what you want with your body, but don't expect me to agree with you, or you can't police my thoughts is what I'm trying to say. You can't tell me how to think. And that seems to be the issue with these feminists who are pro-body hair. They want both sides of the coin. They want to do whatever they want, and then they also want everyone in society to agree with them. And not just agree with them, but praise them. Tell them they're brave and stunning for growing out their body hair. Like, you're so brave. I can't believe you did this. I mean, the people curing diseases and all that, they're not that great. But you just didn't shave for a couple weeks. Oh, clap, round of applause. That's what they want. They don't want just people to respect their decisions. They want people to applaud their decisions. And that's the issue I have.
But also it can vary from day to day. One day you may love growing it out, the next day you might decide to shave. So that brings us into today's sponsor, which is Scentbird.
Bruh, I thought it was going to be Dollar Shave Club.
Alright, continuing into hair things.
Bruh, that sponsorship went on forever. That was like a 5-minute segment. Hey Tiffany, I know I'm just a small YouTuber. I have 46 subscribers. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know one thing, and it's a little phrase you might want to learn. It's called long story short.
I want to talk a little bit about hair removal history, so let's jump right in.
Okay, dude, like, I hate to be that guy, but no one gives a fuck about the history, dude. Like, we're here to talk about your opinion on it and me to respond to your opinion. No one gives a fuck about the history. What does that have to do with what people are doing today? I understand that history can affect things that happen today, but what the fuck does this have to do with anything? The thing I'll never understand about certain creators, and it's usually left-leaning creators, is they'll go into these most random bullshit things that don't have anything to do with the point they're trying to make. And then they'll act like they just made a point. Like, it just fucking pisses me off.
I know we're far into the video already, but I want to talk a little bit about my personal experience before I jump into more of other people's internet opinions that I have found.
Now we finally get to the meat and potatoes of the video. Only 15 minutes in. It only took us 15 fucking minutes to get there because you wasted 5 minutes on an ad segment and another 10 talking about the history of hair removal in women like anyone gives a fuck. Alright, I'm losing my patience. I need to calm down. I gotta realize that she's a feminist and she has blonde hair. Her IQ's probably not that high. I shouldn't be getting this angry. It's punching down. It's making fun of someone who's probably mentally disabled. Just calm down, Dragon King. Everything will be okay. React to this video in a diplomatic way. You can do it. I'm hyping myself up here because if I don't, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
But I definitely have a lot of personal stories regarding hair, as I'm sure everybody does.
We're so excited to hear Tiffany Ferg. We're so excited, Miss Ferg. ASAP Ferg, please tell us your Fergie, tell us your hair removal stories and your body hair stories, please. We're all so excited to hear.
When I was 12 and I started middle school, I distinctly remember shaving my legs every single day just because I had to go to PE and wear those horrendous gym shorts. And I was so terrified at the thought of anyone seeing even the tiniest bit of stubble on my legs. I also distinctly remember this scene from Wish Upon a Star, where this girl gets roasted by her friends for literally missing a spot when she was shaving.
Marina, is that stubble? Ew. I swear I shaved this morning. I must have just missed a spot.
Isn't it crazy how like tiny moments in movies and TV can influence us forever?
Influence you forever, homie. It's a scene in a movie. And they weren't even really roasting her. They just asked her if it was stubble and giggled a little bit. That's just middle school shit. Middle schoolers are immature. Influence you forever. You need to get a grip, homie. You're not going to make it far in life if you let little shit like that affect you. Take it from me. I have personal experience in letting little shit affect me. And I stopped doing that shit because it drove me to insanity. Just like your video.
In middle school, I also started to shave my arms, which are blonde.
I am blonde.
But I remember like seeing my hair shine in the sun and thinking, ew. So I started the very time-consuming practice of trying to shave your arms. The amount of time that I had to spend shaving almost my entire body at age 12 or 13 was ridiculous. The amount of razors that suffered was insane. So then we get into the time where I started dating around high school, and at that point, my hair removal thoughts were all consumed by boys, whatever the boys would prefer. And of course, boys being very immature at that age, they were scared of hair on girls, which made me scared of hair on myself.
Yes, boys being very immature at that age had preferences, and they didn't want to date someone who looked like Sasquatch. It's kind of funny how, like, women are allowed to have these long lists of preferences, but the second a man has one preference, it's like, you're like an evil misogynist pig, cis white male pig. And women can say he has to make $500,000 a year, be 6'3", be muscular, have a big eggplant emoji, if you know what I mean, and all this stuff. And a man says, well, I just don't want my girl to look like Sasquatch. Oh, you evil misogynist pig. And it's kind of funny because she says her whole thoughts were consumed about what boys would like, as if that's a bad thing. Honey, it's baked into your biology. It's baked into men's biology too. You want to be a suitable mate. This has been going on since the dawn of time. You're not going to be able to change that. I don't care if you make it not taboo or if you change society, whatever your goal is here. You're not changing biology. You're not changing what's hard baked into our DNA, what's hard baked into our evolutionary psychology.
Smooth legs and underarms were pretty much a necessity. And then when I started to be sexually active, I started to shave everything because I had heard boys specifically make fun of girls for having any amount of pubic hair, which is so bad. Throwing it back to those days, just shaving all of my pubic hair, it was like such a pain and so painful.
Hey, moron, fucking moron, who's the one who chose to do that? No one forced you held you hostage. I have to be careful what I'm saying on YouTube. That's why it sounds like I'm stumbling over my words. I can't speak unfiltered. Free speech doesn't exist. But no one held you hostage and forced you to do anything. Why are you complaining? You did this because you know you ain't gonna get no dick if you don't. You ain't gonna get no men if you don't. I mean, I shouldn't criticize people's appearances, but you're not a 10, honey. So you don't have that going for you. So you do what you can to be able to attract the opposite gender.
Another very influential moment happened. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard grown women talking about how weird it is in some way, the trend of wanting women, grown women, to be hairless, because that is kind of making them seem like children. Like a completely hairless body is basically similar to a prepubescent body.
What the fuck are you even talking about? A hairless body is the same as a prepubescent body? A full-grown woman has tits, you fucking moron. A full-grown woman is typically between like 5'4" and 5'7". That's like the average height. I don't know if that's completely accurate because I didn't look it up, but just based off of anecdotal experience, a child is like 4 feet tall. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? The facial structure is different, the bone structure is different, the maturity level is different. What the fuck are you even talking about? So if you shave, you're suddenly a child? So if a man shaves his beard, he's a child? The fuck?
No hair. And I thought, that's right. That is weird. Why?
Yeah, you thought that because you have the IQ that the good Lord gave a peanut. I feel so bad for your husband. I feel so bad for him having to be stuck with you.
Why would we want women to be completely hairless? I don't know. And suddenly, instead of wanting no pubic hair, I was desiring a cool landing strip or some kind of nicely trimmed and managed amount of hair. So then, around age 21, I accidentally grew out all of my body hair for the first time. Can you believe it?
Alright, I'll spare you the womanese here. She goes on for quite some time. She says, I felt so much better about myself. It was less work, yada, yada, yada. And it's a whole long diatribe. And you know how women are really good at this thing where they'll talk, but not really say anything? It's that.
By the way, after my first ever hair growth experiment, I did end up shaving pretty much my entire body.
Well, I'm curious to hear the reason why. I thought you enjoyed it. I bet you it was for a guy, even though you said that we shouldn't be trying to impress men. We shouldn't be trying to do it because their opinions don't matter, their preferences don't matter. But I bet you it was for a guy.
Because I had a date.
Wow, what a shocker.
And that took so much time, so many razors.
Hey, don't use the clapping emojis in real life. Don't do that.
But it was on my terms.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
You did it for a guy. You don't gotta lie to kick it. You ain't gotta lie to kick it. It wasn't on your terms. Because if it was on your terms, you would have done it before. But you didn't. You just said that you had a date and you wanted to look good for your date. Like, come on, stop.
My personal perspectives about my body hair do sometimes depend on who I'm around or how well I know them. Because Nathan gets to deal with my armpit hair looking like this, which he's not a huge fan of, but it's my body, my choice.
Nathan is her husband, by the way. You probably picked up on that, but I thought I'd just clarify that just in case you were confused. But she talks about him in her other videos and stuff too. And not all of her videos are this dog shit, but that's the reason I watch her videos, because some of them are actually pretty introspective and thoughtful. I just find it interesting she'll shave for some random guy that she's never met going on a date, but not for her husband, the one she's made vows to, the one she's committed to. I hate this mentality that certain people have, and it's not just women, but it's also men that do this too, where they'll just completely let their appearance go as soon as they get into a relationship. Like, they'll get fat, they'll stop trying, they'll stop even attempting to look good. Like, no, that's the time when you should look your best. You want to give your all to the relationship, not just in terms of physical appearance, but in terms of everything. You want to give 100%. I'll never understand that, because when I'm in a relationship, I always want to look on point for my girl. I never want to just look like a slob, or not make my hair look good, or not look my facial hair look good. I always want to look good for her. So I'll never get that mentality that certain people have, ever. The rest of the video is essentially just more NPC feminist talking points about how men are evil for having preferences, and that society is messed up because we have put this unfair standard on women, even though it's really not that hard to just fucking pull out a razor. I mean, listen, I used to do swimming in high school, and one of the things is you would have to shave in order to be more aerodynamic, to be faster in the water. Now, I was dog shit at swimming, but I still tried to shave because it gives you a slight advantage, or that's what they tell you anyway. Like, shave every part of your body, like your legs, your arms. I didn't have chest hair at that time. I didn't do that. But even now too, I'll shave my chest hair just because it just is itchy. Like, it's when you put on a shirt, like if you have chest hair, to me it's just itchy. That's personally how I feel. I mean, so I'll do it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It really is not. I'm sorry, it's not. And I'll tell you another story too. When I was in jail, the thing about it is, when you go into jail, they only give you shampoo. They don't give you body soap. They don't give you any sort of deodorant, nothing. And so the thing about it is, hair traps sweat, it traps dirt, it traps all sorts of stuff. So you smell pretty nasty. So the way you get around this is, a lot of guys in jail, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it was true in my experience, a lot of them would shave their armpits because they didn't have access to deodorant or body wash. And you have to get that off of commissary, which is essentially like a prison store. And the only way you're able to get that is if you have money coming in, or somebody puts money on your account. A lot of people who go to jail don't have that. And so they would resort to shaving their armpits. I did that. And guess what? It's not that fucking hard, even with the shitty ass razors they give you in jail. So I'm just going to say it. She's overreacting. It's fucking bullshit, but you probably already figured this out by now. Anyway, that's about it. But if you like this video, like it. If you want to subscribe, then do it. If you want to tell me I'm a piece of shit, Mel Pig, go ahead, do it. Comment that. In fact, I want you to, because it boosts engagement. So if you want to tell me that I have a small wiener, or that I'm an incel, or that I hate women, please do it. It helps me in the algorithm, actually. So, but if you want to leave me a nice comment and tell me that I'm handsome, and that I'm smart, and that I made a good video, then you can do that too. Anyway, peace out.